Hey folks, Wayne over here at Ram Man Inc. Don't forget the ink. Hey, this morning I'm going to show y'all how to cold weld something. Cryogenically freeze it with liquid nitrogen. Takes a lot of experience to do what I'm going to show you. I make it look extremely easy, but I'm going to tell you that it's not. So this liquid nitrogen freezing in parts, it basically comes down from the industrial world about how do you put a bearing on a shaft that's 2 feet across like a battleship or pins, and you can't weld something like that. There's not enough surface area. When you're applying 1,000 brake horsepower to a shaft or 100,000 horsepower to a shaft. So you can look that stuff up. Fred brought these in yesterday, and of course these are machined to super high tolerances. Drop them in the liquid nitrogen, gives you the crystalline structure. Absolute zero. Theoretically, everything stops moving, including the molecules. So whatever it is gets as small as it possibly can. Get them within about 2 thousandths on these pucks. He brought them in yesterday. Over years here, I got my mechanics wiggle. These things have to be within about a half hour, they won't go. And when you're doing this, if your part doesn't go all the way, it doesn't matter whether it's a $1 million battleship propeller shaft or a $1,500 puck. If you don't get it and it don't go, you got about 1 second to make that command decision whether or not you think it'll go or not. Because if it don't go, it's going to lock down and it's going to destroy the two parts that you're working with. It doesn't matter how big. It doesn't matter how expensive. It doesn't matter what it is. Them two parts is together. Right, wrong, or indifferent. The mechanics wiggle. He brought these in and I said, they're both gonna go. One is tighter than the other. He said, you're right by 1/2 thousandths. This stuff can be dangerous. Liquid nitrogen's pretty cold. Use it in the medical field for a lot of things, warping, freezing things and specimens. And back in my scientist days, we used this stuff in the lab. Never thought about using it with metal, but of course, being the engineer that I am, one of my specialties is heat treating. Heat treating and metallurgy. That's one of my specialties over here at Ram Man. A lot of things we do, we wouldn't be able to do without, so it's almost done. And it's a pretty quiet reaction. There at the end, it'll bubble. Really fast, and that's when you know that it's done. That right there, that's the kind of stuff I have on my nightstand. Yeah, I know, I'm a weirdo. So, like I said, you don't have very long to decide. But once it goes in, once it goes together, they will not separate. They destroy the components. essentially what you've done is you have cold welded the two together. But what separates this and makes it stronger than, say, electrical welding or something like that is it's the surface area. The bond is the entire surface area, as if it was one piece. As if it were one piece, because technically it becomes one piece. About 270 degrees below zero. There you go. These things get hung up, like I said, quarter of the way down, half of the way down, or something like that. Just set it out in the scrap pile, because it's done. You ain't gonna do nothing with it. Yeah, I've ruined a couple parts, but now I'm probably one of the best in the world at doing this, be quite honest with you. Having done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. I've seen some people actually cry from the stress, because it's kind of stressful. It can be real stressful, but it's neat as shit. Up, you just heard it. This one piece now. Fresh. This is done on manual equipment, folks. About 30 years of experience. It's difficult to do. Really, really difficult to do. But with a little bit of experience, it's okay. So there you go, my friends. We have just joined some pieces together. They are stuck together for all duration. But I thought some of you people might find that interesting. So, if you need to join two parts together, you can machine them within 2/1000ths of each other. Freeze the one. And join them together. Pretty quick. I hope y'all folks like that stuff. God bless you. God bless America. And happy trucking.